that happen every week on Zelda speedruns. A setting that they use in this tournament that's not in that one is chest size matches contents, which will make major items, they'll be in large chests, and the consumables and rupees will be in smaller chests, and then small keys will be in mini-sized boss key chests, and then the boss keys will be in regular-sized boss key chests. Looks like they're both headed to the Kokiri Sword chest to start out. We'll see if we get anything good there. They're both using, it looks like vanilla tunic colors. We do have the ability to randomize those colors, but it doesn't look like either of them took advantage of that. Just a blue rupee in the first check. Yeah, that's right, Kirby. So the dungeon skulls, I had forgotten that. The Skulltulas in the dungeons can be items, and then those Skulltula tokens are shuffled in the pool. So in the overworld, you might see them open a chest and get a Skulltula token, but it's just the Skulltulas in the dungeons, not the overworld ones. The overworld ones will always be Skulltula tokens. We do have one big chest in Mido's, looks like. Bomb Chews. Another difference between the accessible tournament and this one is that Bomb Chews are in logic in this rule set. So once you get Bomb Chews, you can buy them in some of the shops, and considering how much you'll see super slides and glitches involving explosives, you'll be seeing them buying a lot of Bomb Chews throughout the game. That's a pretty nice find. Looks like they're both headed to the shop, so maybe early Deku for both of them. We'll see. And already our first glitch by Azder. He's going to use ISG to farm some Deku sticks from these Deku Babas on his way to Deku Tree. I just said Deku like 4 times.
Azder running with the blue ISG, where Exodus has the white. I always love seeing the blue.
Yeah, we did get some color randomization. One of the things that they can randomize is the sword trail colors, which looks really cool when you can ISG. I think that first hint was a rupee in Goron City, so not super useful. And Kakariko is on the way to the hero, which isn't uncommon with as many checks as are there. Azder finding a purple rupee in the first Deku check. And there you see with the Skulltula shuffled in the dungeons, they can find the tokens in regular checks. 2 tokens, in fact, in this room. Those Skulltula tokens can be in the overworld as well. They're not limited to the dungeon checks. So at this point, Exodus running just a bit behind Azder, but he has the advantage of having checked those hint stones, so he knows about the Kakariko way of the hero. For those of you that might not know what way of the hero means, the game uses logic to make every seed beatable without glitches, and it'll determine what items are absolutely required to beat the game without glitches. and mark those as Way of the Hero, and you'll get several hints from hit stones about locations that have items that are required. Since they're using glitches, they might not need those items, so it's not as useful in this rule set, but still something they'll want to check out. We got our first big chest, a silver scale in the Deku tree, and some more bomb chews on the Skulltula. Just a compass on the Skulltula. Maps and compasses are included in the item pool within each dungeon, so 2 checks in each dungeon will be nothing. And as you can see, the Skulltulas can be holding those items sometimes. So Azder's gonna do a jump to skip most of Deku B1, and he does it first try, pretty clean. There is a Skulltula back here that they're going to want to check because it could have an item. So we'll see Azder do that now. He can kill it with a bomb chew to see what it is, but I'm not sure that he has any way to actually collect the item if it's useful. Looks like it's just the map, so they won't need to worry about that.
Is that Dampe as low health?
I think it's Talon.
Or no, Talon. Yeah.
Getting woken up and running off. I don't know if I can listen to that for 3 hours, so hopefully he gets some health soon.
What a low health sound.
Just to introduce you, that's Afterlife if you hear another voice in the stream. He's not listed on the page, but he'll be helping me out, so I'm not talking to myself for 3 hours.
Yeah, I'm Afterlife. I'm also one of the trackers. Our other tracker is Splits Happen. We just had the one commentator right now, so I'm just going to throw in things as I see them. I'm still learning a lot of the glitches and stuff myself, so I'm not too knowledgeable about it, but I always loved the game and played this game, well, since the year it came out, so.
Yeah, to answer a chat question, neither scrubs or shops are randomized. There are 3 Deku scrubs that in vanilla have Deku stick capacity upgrades and stuff like that, so they have item checks, but otherwise they're not shuffled. Hey Dotso, it goes great. 2 early Deku runs, so Rob Dog would be proud.
Ooh, magic on Goma. That's nice.
A good early find. I did not catch what medallion that was. We'll get another look at it once Exo beats Goma up. Azder leaving and picking up his Ocarina, that's one of the few items that we don't shuffle, just so that they can play songs when they find them. So he's going to be off to Castletown, looks like. Meanwhile, Exodus has beaten Goma. We'll see chat mentioning it was Goron Ruby. We'll confirm that here in a second. Yeah, Goron Ruby on Deku Tree, so they've both picked that up. Bigron just has a heart, so we won't need to do any adult trading today.
That can be a bit brutal.
Looks like Exodus is going to be following Azder's footsteps off to Castletown. Meanwhile, Azder's going to play Bombchu Bowling with the early Bombchu find. This is unlocked. When Bombchus are in Logic, you don't need a bomb bag to play this game. So a couple of early checks here. Just 2 pieces of heart, so he's going to pass on those. Yeah, I hear the same sound delay. We're using his stream audio, so I imagine it would be on his end.
Ice arrows.
The mighty ice arrows. We'll see if we see some bongo strats today. That's always hype.
Out of all the arrows you want to find, though, it's like the one you don't want to find.
Early double defense from Malin. Weird Egg is shuffled in this in these settings, so it'll be in some check somewhere in the game, and they won't be able to do any child trading stuff until they find that. They can, because this is a glitch tournament, there are other ways to get to Zelda. I think that was Furor's Wind.
Furor's Wind on the frogs.
Yeah. Was that Frogs 2? I didn't have enough time to read it. I imagine it was, because that would be the one you get a hint for. So, that's unfortunate, because Furor's Wind is very handy, but Frogs 2 is not a check you want to be doing. Yeah, Datso making the point. There is one Skulltula and Water Temple that can require Furor's Wind and Logic to obtain. And with Dungeon Skulltula shuffled, that could be an item very easily. So that could be a required check.
Azder pulling off the Mega Flip there. I always love watching that.
Yeah, as I said, you don't need in these rules, you don't need the egg. But because you have to do stealth, you can't go in at night, so he's going to have to wait for daytime. Still a bit early. Meanwhile, Exodus turning in Richard, it looks like. I don't think we saw that on Azder's side, so that'll be a new check. Alright, finally in the daytime.
Let's see if we get lucky guards.
So far, so good. Looks like he's gonna get stuck here for a minute, though. Spirit Temple Way of the Hero. Death Mountain is foolish. 30 Skulltulas is a Skulltula token. And a Skulltula token on adult fishing. So nothing super useful besides the Spirit Temple hint. We get the Requiem, or the Minuet of Forest on Impa. Good warp song, but doesn't unlock a whole lot. You will be able to pick up. Sorry, it doesn't show up until you've. Oh yeah, so you have to talk to Zelda to get Sorry to show up. So, as long as you use the bomb chew glitch to get over there, you can get the song.
Now, I believe that was Prelude.
Yeah, that was Prelude to Light. I missed some of those medallions on Exodus side. I think Forest was Jabu Jabu, and I didn't catch much else. I wasn't ready for that.
Alright.
We should get a second pedestal check once Azder's ready to go adult, so...
I'm also pulling it up and going back to the VOD so I can just get that marked for us.
Awesome.
So let me know if Azder gets anything while I'm kind of doing this too.
Sure thing. So it looks like Exodus is headed to Zora's River. Azder's picking up a check from the Wolfos Grotto and Sacred Forest Meadow. It's small chest, so nothing major, just some money. And Azder playing Prelude, so we might get that second pedestal check right off the bat here. I'm gonna go quiet for a second so I can try to take notes this time.
Yeah.
Okay, I got... So light medallions DC. Yeah, Datsu's got it covered. So the required dungeons are Jabu, DC, Water, Forest, and Fire.
Alright, give me just a second here. I'll get all that marked.
It looks like Exodus found the Megaton Hammer, which is going to be required because Fire Temple's a medallion and there's no other way to beat Volvagia. So nice find in the river for him. Azder picking up all those checks that we saw earlier from Exodus. All those hints, I should say. Meanwhile, Exodus headed to Kakariko, which is on the way to the hero, so we'll see what he finds there. So our trackers are getting our... Oh, we found a mirror shield. Someone had just mentioned that in chat. That's the grotto in Kakariko, so that's probably Way of the Hero.
Who just got that?
Exodus did.
Exodus? Awesome. Mirror shield early is so nice.
So we know Spirit is Way of the Hero. Gold Scale on Azder's side. Every time I start talking, somebody finds something. So Spirit is Way of the Hero, but it's a stone, so they won't necessarily be required to beat it, so we don't know if the Mirror Shield is required. There are a few checks, plus the boss that could require a Mirror Shield, and if one of those is the required check, then they'll need that mirror. So they've both got Gold Scale at 21 minutes in. Got Sun Song from the windmill. And Anju has a slingshot. Does open up one check in the Lost Woods, but that's really it.
I'm sorry, who got the slingshot there?
Azder did.
Azder? Oh, okay. Sorry, just making sure I got all my medallions correct.
You're good.
Alright, but those are ball marked for us now, so we're good to go on that.
Yeah, and Exodus has it too now. They're pretty much neck and neck right now. Yeah, Azder did pick up Sun Song.
Did he? Okay.
I think they both have it. And somebody picked up a hammer earlier, I don't remember which one. I think it was Azder. Exodus has it. Yeah.
There's the hook shot.
Yeah, Azder picking up a hook shot with Sun Song there. Items are coming fast and furious right now. And Exodus is frozen on my end. I don't know if you guys are seeing that.
Yeah.
He's probably gonna pick up hook shot soon, but hopefully we'll catch that. Yeah, it looks like his stream froze or went down, or I'm not sure. Hopefully he'll be back. In the meantime, we'll watch Azder race Stampe.
Dampe always trolling with those fireballs.
$51 is the winner. Yeah, it was the Re-Dead Grotto with the Mirror Shield. So I imagine by now Exodus picked up the hook shot, but obviously we can't confirm that with the stream frozen. It looks like he made it to Dampe's race, but froze again. Looks like Azder might improve on his 50 here. Just barely a 49.
And just a bloopy. So a piece of heart and a bloopy from Dampe today.
Yeah, he didn't get the message that this area was loaded today.
Alright,
He apparently picked up the Song of Time at some point. I don't know that I remember that.
I didn't either. Alright, there's Exodus getting his hook shot.
Just in time.
Yep.
He apparently saved that for after the Dampe races.
Well, at least we know the Dampe races weren't anything major, so...
So that D-pad, one of the features that they added to Randomizer in 4.0, the latest release is there's the Ocarina is permanently bounded D-pad down, and then when they get either iron or hover boots, those will be equipped to left and right, so you don't need to like menu to equip those items anymore.
Yeah, it just gives you a quick access to them, which is definitely a nice feature. Having to menu those all the time can be a little annoying.
Yeah, it definitely comes in handy in places like Water and Spirit where you're switching boots a lot. Shadow, I mean. You can either play it with an EverDrive on N64, you can play it on Wii Virtual Console or emulator. So it looks like they're both headed to Dodongo's Cavern at about the same time. They're about tied as far as, you know, progress, but as far as items, Exodus is clearly in the lead with the two major items, the Mirror Shield and the Megaton Hammer. The hammer's going to be required. Mirror Shield is questionable, but it's good peace of mind to go into Spirit with that Way of the Hero hint and be able to full clear it.
Yeah, so the light arrows, bow, the boomerang, definitely a bomb upgrade or a bomb bag would be nice, but not required if you have choose. So some kind of explosives is really all you need for that.
Yeah, obviously Go mode is has a lot less requirements when you can use glitches. If this were an accessible, like, glitchless race, we'd have God knows how many items we're looking for still. But since they can use glitches to beat dungeons, requirements aren't that high. You'll always need magic, bow, and light arrows to beat the game. And then the rest depends on the dungeon layout. We'll need boomerang because you can't beat Baronade without it. And that's about it as far as hard required.
Yeah, strength is more than likely going to be needed.
Well, if it's for Spirit, there are ways to get past that block without strength.
Yeah, there is. I always forget that.
Yeah, there's a clip you can do with hover boots. I think there are other ways that are more complicated. Yeah, as far as that way of the hero hint, keep in mind this is glitch list logic, so well, there are hover boots. Every time you guys say an item, we find it, so keep it up. So it's gonna the logic assumes that we're not using any glitches to beat the game. So way of the hero hand could ultimately be useless to a glitch player, but we'll see.
I saw this question in chat a little earlier. I believe it was the voice. Yeah. These can last usually a good 3 hours. Sometimes a little less, sometimes a little more, but that's kind of about an average.
Yeah, I think that's a good estimate. I've heard 2 to 4, and that's been pretty safe. You know, your first instinct when you're comparing this to a glitchless randomizer run is say, oh, it's going to be faster because they can skip so many checks, but I mean, that's not necessarily an advantage if the checks have things you need. So this isn't necessarily a faster rule set. I would say it's a more varied as far as how long they take. You could get lucky and be able to skip a bunch of stuff and just go mode the seed for the most part, or there could be a check that you need in somewhere that you skipped because you could, and it ends up taking 4 hours. So it's not necessarily faster. I would say it's less predictable.
Agreed, Dotso. The variance, it can be really insane with this rule set.
The seed has seemed on the generous side so far, but we'll see.
It always makes me weary when I see something start this fast, because that just means it's going to slow down eventually. Just at what point is it going to slow? And you always hope that you're not going to have to go somewhere that's not needed. I have never personally actually seen this fight done with chews.
Yeah, you can do it with chews. You have to set up a ground jump and then jump into his mouth with a chew in your hand.
Oof.
It's the only way to beat him if you don't have a bomb bag or strength. The Exodus pulls off the bomb chew strat, so he's done with Dodongo's Cavern. Azder will be doing the same thing. He just reset.
Ooh.
Not sure if he decided against that fight with bomb chews. Maybe he didn't realize he didn't have strength or bombs until he started the fight. Yeah, it's kind of a obscure strat for the boss, so it's possible he doesn't know how to do it or just prefers not to do it. So Azder here is going to try to clip his camera into this cave so he can see whether it's a large chest or not. I'm not sure if he got a look at it. But with the chest size matches contents, if you can look at a chest, you can tell whether it's important or not. So you can skip having to use a bomb chew to open that up if you can see that it's a small chest. Yeah, Trail is foolish. He might have realized that while he was trying to clip his camera and just given up on it. A couple of big chests here.
2 large chests.
Maze, more bomb chews, which isn't the worst thing. I think that's a DC on the way to the hero, which might be the hover boots. And a Goron tunic.
I was hoping for a little more when I saw the multiple big chests, but a Goron tunic is still a nice find.
As Dacho mentioned, hovers might be to get to Volvagia for the fire medallion. If it doesn't give you enough keys to get to the top without fighting Volvagia, then you have to have the hovers in order to fight him in logic. Could be for something in Shadow Temple, or as he said, Spirit. There's the I'm not really sure what that unlocks off the top of my head.
I couldn't tell you. Wasteland. That's right.
Oh yeah, to cross the quicksand on your way to Spirit. We've got a bomb bag on top of the volcano, which is useful. And Vanilla Bolero. As far as tunic colors, when they sort of generate their ROM for the race, they have all the cosmetic options available to them. Tunic colors, sound effects, things like that. They can choose to randomize them, not randomize them, specifically choose colors. It looks like they both went with vanilla tunics at this point, but it's possible they just like kind of rolled the green by chance and the other tunics will be different colors. So we'll see. Yeah, Azder is here without the hammer, which was in the ZOOTR River Grotto. So, yeah, he might be a little upset when he finds out later.
Well, and then didn't he miss Mir in Kakariko?
Yeah, he also doesn't have the mirror shield. We don't know that that's required yet. But with the Spirit Way of the hero, you certainly want to have your mirror shield when you decide to go there.
Exodus getting his Goron tunic.
As they're trying to get a look at that, the item in the little crevice there on the wall, looks like it was more bomb chews, so it might be worth picking up.
That was a hint for 50, but Skulltulas, but I didn't see what it said.
I think I saw the word gold, so maybe a gold Skulltula token. No, heart piece. So 50's dead.
Heart piece, 50's dead.
I think we saw a token on 30. I'm not sure we've seen a 40 yet.
I think we saw 40 and 50. So I think 40 was one as well. Was a token as well. I could be wrong there. Don't hold me to that, chat. Exodus falling off the wall there. Not sure why he's just not putting on his Goron tunic and not having to race the timer. But Exodus picking up his bombs.
Azder picking up another key off that Skulltula in the lobby and forest.
And our lovely Talon low heart sound.
Never gonna get used to that.
I don't think Azder likes it either.
Yeah, Datso made a point. So you can use the hover boots from the block pushing room to hover over to that door on the side to get into the courtyard. And if you don't have a bow or Song of Time, that can be your only access to the courtyard. I know Azder does have Song of Time, so you can get into the courtyard with that. I'm not sure, Datso. He just played it, and I never saw him get it. That's how he got out of the Dampe races, and until then I didn't realize he had it.
Yeah, none of us caught where that exactly was. You just kind of ended up playing it. Exodus checking in Lost Woods. Finding the long shot.
Nice find. That was, I think, the Goron City grotto.
The voice, we're not exactly sure what songs Exodus has at this moment because his stream froze for a little while, so we weren't able to see exactly what he picked up during that time. So we're gonna have to fill that in as we can, and we see it into what he plays and what we can catch when he opens his menus.
Hookshotted right through that Skulltula. Yeah, this is a glitch rule set. No, I am wrong to be specific. The logic is glitchless because in 4.0 they haven't implemented glitch logic yet. That'll be coming in a future release. So as far as the item placement goes, it places them in a way that you can beat the seed without using glitches, but they're allowed to use almost all glitches. Exceptions being item manipulation, so things like RBA, that'll just give you items, and then wrong warping. for anybody that just joining us, this is game 2 of a semifinal best of 3 between these two runners, Azder and Exodus. Well, there's our Song of Time. That's questions answered. So that was Minuet check. So this is a best of 3 between these two runners. Exodus won game 1, and this is game 2. So if Exodus wins again, he'll move on to the finals. If Azder wins today, then we'll have a game 3 later on to decide which one wins.
Yeah, back up. We don't know when that would be. They would have to get together after they finish the race and decide and when they can both be available to get that played.
Yeah, they'll talk with each other after they're done here if Azder wins and get that scheduled. I don't know exactly when it'll be, but in the next week or so at most. Speaking of semifinals, we do have our other semifinal between Dotso and Runner Guy. That's on Thursday. I forget exactly what time. So if you want to catch more action here on Speed Gaming, we'll have that race on Thursday. 5:30 Eastern.
5:30.
Thank you, Dotso. That'll be also game 2 of that matchup. Runner Guy's up 1-0.
Skip down to Phantom Ganon. Yeah, the boss key skip into Phantom Ganon is such a cool trick. As you're getting the ISG for the fight.
Yeah, but in case you didn't know, you don't need a bow to beat this guy. You can hook shot him.
Clean fight from Azder on Phantom Ganon.
So that's kind of a demonstration of how many fewer requirements there are when you can use glitches. You don't need the bow to beat the boss. All you got to do is clip and skip the boss key, so you can go right to the boss if you want. You can even hover up to the temple instead of using hookshot if you really need to.
What was the item minus the water medallion? Did he get anything?
I think it was a bloopy, something
Bloopy?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
That
I had
is.
to look over at my tracker.
So that'll be his water medallion. Both at 2 medallions at the moment. It's like Azder's going to be picking up his long shot.
Oh, got the Mito flip. Awesome.
Yeah, I'm not sure. He must have reset his timer by accident at some point. Exodus's timer is pretty accurate, so just go by that, I suppose. Looks like Azder is diving to the river. Hopefully he'll be picking up his hammer while he's there. I might send him back to the fire temple when he finds it.
Either that, or now that he has bombs and the hammer, going back up to Dodongo's cavern would probably be a good play.
Yeah, certainly.
Because he could also check the on the trail leading into Goron City, where he didn't get that camera angle right, and see what was in there.
Yeah, well, we know the trail's barren. I don't know that he's seen that hint, but if he has, then I don't think he's going to be too worried about checking those. So Voice of Moses, you can use any glitch except for item manipulation and wrong warping. Item manipulation being things like a reverse bottle adventure to just obtain items without actually finding them. But as far as clipping, hovering, and anything you can imagine beyond that is legal.
Exodus having a little problem with Phantom Ganon here.
It's like he finally got ISG. There he goes. Alright. Azder's child. We'll see where he's headed. He did a save warp. That'll send him back to Kokiri. Yeah, it was just a skull token on Phantom Ganon.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he's up to, so we'll have to see where he goes here. Looks like toward the Lost Woods here. Maybe Goron City as a child?
Yeah, sorry about the puppy bark there. I apologize.
Exodus is headed into Fire Temple with this hammer.
Guys are trying to get that super slide. There, he got it.
Yeah, he's probably headed toward that open grotto, maybe? Or just Lake Hylia.
Puppers are cute. Sometimes the pupper commentary is nice.
I've got a dog here with me, but he's more like a cat. He never talks.
I've got two with me. One never talks, which is my big one, and my medium one, she will bark at a bird flying by the window and just sing in shadow. So
mine's laying in the sun right now. Got a big chest in that open grotto in Hyrule Field. Wallet. It's like Azder's just kind of clearing Hyrule Field at this point. There's our
Weird
weird egg on the Deku Scrub in front of Lake Hylia. The trade quest is enabled, but we know Bigoron just has a recovery heart, so they won't be doing it. That egg is for the child trading quest, so that's the chicken that would eventually hatch. You need Wake Up Talon, etc. They'll find some item in the adult trade quest between prescription and claim check, and normally you'd complete the rest of the trade quest and turn it into Bigoron and get a random item, but if you know the item is trash, then you can just skip it.
That was the weird egg, correct?
Yeah, that was the weird egg. The other egg, if you can use settings to make that a possible thing you can find, but these tournament settings, it's always at least prescription that you're going to find. You're never going to find anything earlier than that.
Trying to remember which one to track on my tracker here.
I think left one's child and right one's adult.
That's what I thought. Alright. It's the right side? Other way around. Alright. Now I'm getting confused.
Alright.
There we go. Alright, we'll just do that. There we go.
I think on the actual tracker page it'll be labeled child and adult.
Yeah, it is. At least in game. Nope, I was right. Child, weird egg. There we go. Alright.
So child fishing had another slingshot.
Oh, okay, so upgrade on the seeds. That's always nice.
Looks like we'll get a look at this. I don't know if you already checked the item at the bottom of the lake that's normally Ruto's letter in vanilla. I didn't see what it was if you did look at it.
That should be the big bag there. Alright.
He has a gold scale, so he would have picked it up if it was something useful. Looks like he's farming money to go up and play diving. He's only got 14 at the moment. Meanwhile, I don't think Exodus has found anything in the Fire Temple so far. That was a Skulltula hint, but he mashed so fast I didn't see it. I think at this point 30, 40, and 50 are dead. I'm fairly certain we've seen hints for all of them. I feel like we saw 30 as a token at Temple of Time, but it's possible I'm misremembering. It's a Skulltula token for diving. That's only 8 for him. I'm kind of surprised at how low his skull count is right now. Yeah, if you're looking at Azder's timer at some point a few minutes ago we accidentally reset it, so you can ignore that. Exodus's timer is accurate. What you're seeing in the actual gameplay is happening basically simultaneously.
Bleeding, you have a happy birthday in chat. Is this one of those troll ones, or is it actually your birthday?
I can confirm it is not my birthday, but I appreciate the sentiment. I've got another couple of months.
Akoma, they usually, a good way to think about this is about 3 hours. It can be less, it can be more. They say right about 2 to 4, so just right around 3 is a good average.
Yeah, Azder picked it up right before he went to fire in the grotto at Sora's River, so they both got hammer. Exodus does have the mirror shield over Azder.
A strength locked strength. Isn't that awesome?
Yeah, I missed Exodus picking that up. Must have been looking at chat. And there's our third slingshot.
Alright, so we officially know where all the slingshots are. One in deep fire. Azder finally turning in Richard.
Yep, just a piece of heart as we saw earlier. No, they don't need all items. They need all medallions. And because this is a glitch tournament, the only items they really need are the boomerang, because they need to beat Jabu, and there's no other way to kill Baronade. And then light arrows and a bow to beat the game. Everything else is, as far as we know, not required. There could end up being some more requirements depending on where their boomerang's at, but yeah, all they need to do is get all the medallions and beat Ganon.
If you guys are like what you're watching, though, please do give our runners a follow. I did just get those in chat, as well as myself tracking alongside with Splits Happen, and Bleeding Blue doing 90% of the commentary for us here. Well, 99.
So Azer's off to Lon Lon to do a few checks. Vanilla Skull in Fire Temple. Let's see what song Malin has for us today. Requiem.
Requiem.
It's Spirit is way of the hero, so that's pretty handy. Nothing back in the silo, so he'll warp out. Dotso mentioning we're all dungeons. I trust him because he knows his logic better than I do, but not sure I follow. Yeah, hover boots were way of the hero, so... Yeah, so the only reason we need that is to go deep into Shadow Temple. So yeah, there'll be something back there, at least logically, that's required to beat the game. And Azder's gonna go right to Spirit Temple. So that's Saria song as the song check. He'll need to clip through that big silver block in order to do anything here because it doesn't have any strength. We'll see if he chooses to do that. It is a stone dungeon, but we know it's way of the hero, so something useful. That's a hint that Epona is on Ocarina of Time. Since we already have Long Shot, that doesn't unlock a whole lot. Could be archery.
Could be archery. So that seems to be a theme anytime that I'm having to help commentate. I've had to do it twice, and both times the seed's gone kind of bad.
Yeah, as far as the Poe quest, it does hold a random item, and in this setting set, they have to get 10 Poes to unlock it. They can just catch one and then dupe the rest of them, so it's not that big a deal. But yeah, it does hold a random item.
Please don't commentate my race on Thursday. Well, I'll be in chat cheering you on if nothing else.
Good boss key skip by Exo. He's off to fight the boss. Meanwhile, Azder headed toward Lake Hylia. So you'll see a strat here on Exodus' side. Volvagia has 2 hitboxes active at any given time. The actual model's hitbox, and then there's an extra one in the last hole that he flew into. So you can lay bombs there and hurt him, as long as you don't, actually damage him to the point that he flies out of his hole. So you can quick kill him using bombs and hammer strikes. So Volvagia is dead on Exodus' side. He'll pick up his Shadow Medallion. With both the Shadow and the Spirit Medallion, he'll unlock a check at Temple of Time, which is vanilla light arrows.
As you're going to adult fishing.
We know that's dead with a hint. I don't remember exactly what it was. I think it was a Skulltula token.
Mm-hmm.
Either he missed the hint or he really wants a Skulltula token. Because this is a long time to get one. Just bombs on the light arrow cutscene. It looks like Exodus is headed back to childhood.
And that is his 10th, so that may be why he was doing it.
Yeah.
Yes, raging it was, but there's skips you can do around it.
Yeah, so the strength upgrades are progressive, so the first one you find is always going to be Goron Bracelet, but that doesn't mean it was intended to be your first strength. So logically, there's a strength somewhere that they were supposed to get in order to obtain that second strength. We don't know where that is yet, because that's the only one we found so far.
Making good use of that gold scale without having the iron boots.
Yeah, you almost never see that done like the intended way in Rando.
Oh, and just nice trap.
Rewarded.
Biggest reward of the seed right there, guys.
Yeah. The one time it gives you both scales to do it the intended way in logic, it punishes you for doing it. That's Rando for you.
Yep, debated.
So Exo's off to see Zelda. Didn't realize he hadn't done that yet.
Rando can have a sick and twisted sense of humor, but I still think it's extremely fun to watch no matter what.
There's our Spirit Way of the Hero hint. Looks like Azder's going to be clipping his way into water. Exodus will be picking up a Minuetta Forest here shortly. It's a pretty clean clip in there.
Well done.
I've seen that take a lot longer in some of these races.
Oh yeah.
Doesn't have iron boots yet, so he'll be long shotting down these torches. Exodus checking out the Tektite Grotto. I don't think we've seen this yet. Can't tell what that is yet, but Exodus wants it, so we'll see here in a second. That's a strength upgrade. Silver gauntlets.
Definitely nice. And Azder with his second ice trap. Yeah, we have a hint that Spirit is way of the hero. So that's definitely going to be nice for Exodus having the silver gauntlets there.
As they're going right for the boss, he'll need to skip the boss key door. Looks like he might be struggling a bit with the flip. Oh, he got it.
There we go. I was not exactly sure that was going to work. When I learned you could pin more into that corner like that, oh man.
It's life-changing.
It is life-changing for that fight.
So a pretty good water temp overall for Azder. Got in clean. Didn't take long to clip through the boss door and clean Morpha fight. So can't ask for much more than that. That'll be his third medallion. Exodus already at 4.
Oops, wrong one. That should be the fire medallion. There we go.
You want to clear off the forest.
Oops, I thought I clicked that. There we
Sometimes that tracker refreshes right as you click the button and it doesn't take.
Yeah, this is actually my third time tracking, so I'm still getting used to this. So my apologies for my little mess ups on the tracker.
Graveyard Way of the Hero. I know we found something in the Sun Song Grave, but I don't. Hook shot. Thanks, Sato. Yeah, Exo's got pretty much all he needs to clear Spirit Temple, including the song to get there, and it's Way of the Hero. So, kind of surprised he hasn't gone there yet, but I mean, we'll see what he ends up doing. Yep, Poes are dead. So opponents can only be required for the 2 archery checks in Gerudo Fortress. If one of those has something we need, then we'll have to do all dungeons to get the song. Yeah, this is glitch tournament, so he can just he had long shot to get to the door and then clip through it. Water can be done really quickly in glitched rule sets if you know the skip.
Azder starting his fire.
Yep, I think the only thing major we found here was a strength upgrade. That was in the boulder maze room on a Skulltula. Yeah, Water Temple's foolish, so there's not a whole lot of to clearing it out. Yeah, the hint will say foolish. It used to say barren, and a barren is kind of a misnomer because it can still have so it can have like a bow upgrade or something if the first bow is Way of the Hero, so the second one is bow locked. So it can technically have useful things, but it's rare and never useful in logic. But some folks got a little upset that it was called barren and could have things, so we changed it to foolish. Yeah, I remember a whole discussion on the Discord. I didn't participate, but I read the whole thing and it was fun. Yeah, it was originally when the hints were introduced, it was barren, and it's been changed to foolish. Some people still say barren out of habit. They mean the same thing.
Oh, there you go. You can blame Dotso.
He likes to play devil's advocate a lot, I think.
That he does.
I see the point where, you know, for a player that doesn't, you know, look into all the definitions of what barren means, like to a layman, barren means it has nothing. So if you read your spoiler log and find out there was a bow in there or something, then I could see why you'd be pretty upset. So Exodus waking up Talon. Even though he's already seen Zelda, Malon won't show up at... Talon and Malon won't show up at Lon Lon unless you wake him up. So that unlocks a couple of things at Lon Lon Ranch, so it's still worth doing even if you already have the Impa song. Yeah, and these randomizers, there's a lot of periods where they're kind of retracing each other's footsteps, and you already know what they're going to find and where the dead points are, so... it can get kind of stale, but doing my best to fill the void.
Well, and with it being so item-packed and jam-packed, that first, half an hour was... Now that there's the lull, it's just kind of like, okay, what are we doing?
I think Azder reset his timer again, because he's only at 6 minutes. If you're watching and you're just tuning in, completely ignore Azder's timer. He's reset it a couple of times by accident throughout the run. Exodus is accurate as far as how long we've actually been going.
That is one of the other great things, is we do not run off their timers or splits. We do have an SRL time that's actually used if it was extremely close and things like that, so we'd go off of that. So...
Yeah, the SRL time is official. You don't get to just reset your live split timer and then done at 3 seconds.
Yeah.
So Exodus, getting toward 20 skulls. He's at 17 now, and I think you guys are putting doubt into my head, but I'm pretty sure we've seen a 30 hint. I know we've seen 40 and a 50 hint, so I think 20 is the most we're gonna need.
Exodus getting Requiem.
And he's got silvers, so... he might have been waiting for that before going to Spirit, so we'll see if he makes a Spirit play here pretty soon. Yeah, I was pretty sure I saw 30 as a token, but I had some people telling me it was only 40 and 50 that were dead, so I started doubting myself. So 20 is the most we're going to need. We don't get hints for 10 or 20, so they'll be checking those just in case.
I'm actually was kind of surprised that we haven't seen a 10 check already. Azder getting a strength upgrade there.
Yep. Azder picking up that strength that Exodus picked up a while back. Exodus opting to pick up that Hylian shield. He's already got a mirror, so I'm not sure how much use that's going to be.
Raging, all the strength upgrades are progressive, so that's just the first one that Azder found. No matter what, the first strength upgrade you're going to find is going to be the Goron's bracelet, then the silver gauntlets, then the gold gauntlets.
Nexo already off to Spirit. So I don't think there's anything else in Fire Temple. So just be a slow march toward the boss for after. Exodus picking up Saria's song. We'll see if he goes back in to do the child checks or not. I can't imagine he's gonna skip it, but I've seen stranger things.
Oh, I got you. Okay, my apologies, Raging. I wonder if Azder's gonna do what Exodus did and do a full clear on it.
So Exo is gonna go Child Side Spirit. Again, it's a stone dungeon, but it's Way of the Hero. Gonna want to do some checks in here. Items have slowed down quite a bit since that onslaught in the first 10 or 20 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there could be something useful in well. We haven't found Song of Storm. So, I mean, they're able to get in there without Song of Storms, but nothing's going to be in there in logic until they have Song of Storm, so that might be what's putting them off from doing any checks there. And we've got Iron Boots on Child Side Spirit. That's going to be logically required to beat water. Obviously, you can see on azder's side, you don't need them in this rule set to beat water. But that, as far as logic, that could be the Way of the Hero.
At this point, we haven't seen Bottom of the Well yet.
Yeah, I imagine they're probably not going to go in there until they've got Song of Storms and they know everything's in. It could get to the point where it's just really check dense considering everything else they've done, and they could take a gamble on it. Datso, he found Iron Boots on Child Side Spirit. So Way of the Hero as far as the logic is concerned. Doesn't mean there's not anything else in here, but it's according to the logic, it's required to beat Water Temple, so definitely at least one Way of the Hero here. Neither check had a key. Actually, oh, he must have found it on a Skulltula. So he'll be continuing in a Child Side Spirit. Yeah, well, nothing in Shadow is in because it's going to require Nocturne in the glitchless logic to get in there. Obviously, they can hookshot jump in, so maybe low value right now, but it's an option.
Exodus found the boss key for Spirit.
Yeah, even though, like, so, the glitches in this rule set allow you to do a so it opens up a lot of options, but unless the game, like, the game's not going to put something in Shadow Temple unless it gives you all the items you need to get into Shadow Temple in Logic. So going in there without those items is more of a gamble because it's more likely that it's just nothing at that point. But it can get to the point where there's so many checks in there that it's worth a gamble because you don't have a lot of other good options. Now, if Shadow's a medallion, I think it's worth going there and beating it. But it's a stone dungeon, so it's not going to be... We don't know that it's going to be required. It's possible it's required if Epona, which is on OOT, is required for something. But at this point, we don't know that it's required to even go in there, so that's probably why they're putting it off.
Oh, that just makes me think. Boomerang on archery.
Yeah, archery is the only thing that can force us into an all-dungeon situation at this point, because Epona's on Ocarina of Time. We've already killed Big Pose, and we have a long shot to get to all the other Gerudo stuff. So, unless archery has an item that we need, I mean, it could very well have something useful that's not required in this rule set. But things like boomerang, light arrows, that's what's going to make this all dungeons. Azder just about done with Fire Temple at this point.
Well, you're definitely right, Raging, and I've watched a few randos from A Link to the Past, and I can see where you're definitely going with that. It's kind of like one of those checks where you could do it, but other things are more have a better chance right now than having to double dive.
Like Exodus got Rudo's letter, which puts a lot of that Zora stuff into Logic. It's not required because you can clip past King Zora in this rule set, but it makes it a lot more likely that the game's put something out there. Picking up a bomb bag upgrade off the slingshot game as well. I mean, it's hard to say. I've only maybe watched 5 to 10 races in this rule set, so my sample's low. But, I mean, a lot more often than it is in Glitchless, because obviously there's a lot of items, you know, like the Iron Boots and Spirit Temple. That's probably our way of the hero there, and that's not required to beat water in this rule set, so it can happen pretty frequently. Yeah, Way of the Hero, just because you find something you don't require to beat the game, it can give you information, like Dotso said. Like if you get, you know, like the Mirror Shield in a Way of the Hero location, but Spirit is a stone, it could tell you there's something mirror locked in Spirit Temple that you need, or maybe it's all dungeons. So being baited isn't necessarily the worst thing in the world if you're willing to like kind of puzzle out the logic that led to that item being Way of the Hero and figure out what that's telling you to do.
Azder's accidentally reset his timer multiple times. Nobody has done Gerudo Valley at this moment.
Yeah, what I think, I don't remember which runner, but somebody cleared it out, at least the two child checks, and it didn't have anything. We haven't seen the Hammer Rocks yet.
I apologize then, I missed that.
I think the crate had rupees or something, and then the I must have missed the hint for the Hammer Rocks.
Azder finally going back into DC, gonna get his light medallion here.
So after he picks up his 5th medallion, he'll be down to Jabu Jabu. Just we're a boomerang away from beating that. But even given that, we're still bowless and we still don't have light arrows, and both are going to be required to beat the boss. We'll get a hint for light arrows if we end up with 6 medallions and haven't found them yet, but the bow could be anywhere. Yeah, I meant boomerang. I don't know what I said. So Azder's got his bomb bag to do this fight the intended way. He was here without a bomb bag and without strength earlier and decided against the bomb choose strat that we saw Exodus pull off. Yeah, I guess I said bow twice. I said boomerang in my head, but you guys can't hear my thoughts yet. Working on that.
Alright, that's Azder getting his light medallion.
So that's 5. We'll see how trolly that boomerang location ends up being.
Yeah. Azder's really caught up. Oop, there goes Azder's timer again. Really caught up. Exodus was a good bit ahead there for a while on medallions, but that quick clear of water and now the faster way of clearing DC has really helped him catch up there.
Looks like Exo's going skull hunting. Azder finally has his mirror sheet. 44 seconds into the seed, that's pretty good. If you're just joining us, Azder's timer is reset 100 times. We don't know why.
Oh, and 10 Skulltulas is just another Skulltula token.
Bonus. Both picking them up. Exodus has 20, so we're going to get both checks. Both are Skulltulas. And I think 30 was a Skulltula too, so that's just lovely. Yeah, it's possible we captured part of his splits. I don't have any way to change that, but I'll ping somebody and see if they can get that fixed for us. Yeah, I don't get splitting in, you know, a game like this where you're not doing the same run every time, but some people like it.
Azder doing his child spirit. Oh, bad luck for Azder there.
Azder's got his irons. And yeah, bow mode again would be just wonderful. I was tracking the accessible final the other day, and that was excruciating. Yeah, there are 100 tokens in the game. The hundreds, the reward for 100 isn't randomized, it's infinite rupees. So you'll only ever need to collect 50 in these settings. There is a masochistic setting for 100 Skulltulas opens the Rainbow Bridge available in the randomizer, but that's the only way you'd actually be required to collect all 100.
So Exodus, I don't know if we covered that, did do the dig with Dampe, and that just had a heart on it. For some people that don't know, it is in where it is coded in where Dampe will give it to give you the item on the first dig every time.
Yeah, no Dampe luck here.
I didn't think you could do the skip down into well.
Yeah, you can
Chicken
dive with
dive.
a chicken. You can
Navi dive is one of my favorites to watch.
So yeah, this is basically always available in glitch rule set. So yeah, as far as Azder's timer, I think whomever did the stream layout made a mistake in capturing like his current split rather than his total time. So every time he finishes a dungeon, his timer resets because he splits. I've thrown something in our chat to hopefully get that fixed, but I'm not sure he's still around, so might just have to go off of Exodus's timer.
Azder just picked up his letter.
There's a big chest down here. Din's Fire, another shadow bait item.
And a big bomb bag. Good question, Datso.
Alright, there's our timer.
Awesome. Thank you to the people behind the scene fixing that for us. We really appreciate that.
Yeah, so to explain that further, both Mask of Truth and Skull Mask are turned off as checks in this rule set, and that's because when you skip to Zelda using Bomb Chews rather than using the chicken to wake up Talon, if you find the weird egg after that, and you've already seen Zelda, there's no way to turn it into the letter to get to the Mask Trading Quest, so you can soft lock yourself if those end up being required checks. So we turn those off in this rule set just to prevent that from happening, so that they can skip to Zelda without worrying about that. So we got, as far as ZL, we haven't seen Prelude or Nocturne. Is that it? Oh, Ice Cavern. So I think those are the three places. In this rule set, ZL can be an Ice Cavern, and non-glitched it won't be, because you have to have ZL to get in to that area. But we turn on a trick that lets you skip that waterfall in Zora's River with either hover boots or a chicken, depending on whether you're child or adult. I don't think EXO has found anything in the well besides that Din's fire, unless I missed something. Saria's was at Spirit Temple. ZL is Zelda's Lullaby. Pretty important song in most seeds.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no problem. I think it's possible to roll a seed in these settings that doesn't logically require ZL, but it's got to be incredibly rare. Shadow has to be a stone for ZL to not be required, because ZL is required to beat Shadow. With glitches, you can beat Shadow without ZL, but not in logic. Shadow in logic requires 2 songs to beat. Nocturne to get in, and then Zelda's Lullaby for the boat trip. So if either of those is on Ocarina of Time, you know, at least in logic, it's a all dungeon seed. There's no way for it not to be with those songs on Ocarina of Time.
As they're having a little difficulty getting past the waterfall.
Yeah, I think the hover boots version of this trick is a little more finicky than. Yeah, there's a I think there's like some kind of clip that you can do in the room you get vanilla hover boots in that skips you straight to the boss loading zone in Shadow, but I'm not sure of the specifics about how to do it or what items you need.
As you're gonna go for Ice Cavern, it looks like.
Yeah, now that they have the letter, this is in logic, so it's not a terrible play. We'll get a song at the end, which could be ZL. So, I like it.
When's the truth?
Yep. That comes in handy if you need something for the chess minigame and market. But that's really the only thing these guys will need it for.
Oh yeah.
It's worth picking up just in the off chance that that ends up being something. Yeah, I imagine that was the setting, but I wasn't 100% on that. Yeah, Ocarina items is allowed, so you can kind of fudge the chess minigame if you have Sun Song in a box.
Azder, please. Please, help, please.
I keep forgetting that's a thing until he gets to low health again.
Alright, well, Exit is picking up the boomerang.
Nice find for him. Did Azder not do the torches? I think he was there because I think he did the diving, right?
He did diving. I don't think he did the torches. Dato, we're right there with you. Yeah, he skipped torches.
I'm gonna switch to audio.
Azder picking up the last of the bomb upgrades.
I don't think we have a stream delay that I'm aware of. If there is one, it's minimal.
Now we're just gonna hopefully not find out what Exodus' sound is. Fire arrows. Fire arrows and Jabu Jabu.
Yeah, Azder didn't do torch run, and that's where the boomerang is. He sure did do diving minigame, that's why I was confused on the boomerang there. I was not expecting it, so I was not looking. I thought we'd cleared the child ZOOTR checks, but alas. So he's got everything he needs to get medallions, but we still need a bow and light arrows to beat Ganon. So we're not done yet.
That ground jump trick that Azder's been doing in here in Ice Cavern, that is such a cool trick.
Yeah, bow mode's been a theme in these randomizers. See if that holds up.
There it is.
Just had to say bow and it would show up. So bow's in Jabu, so...
A bow is in Jabu.
Azder really needs to find that boomerang. He'll get a light arrow hint at Ganondorf if he find the light arrows before then. So unless the light arrows are really trolly location, that's probably game. Azder did find Zelda's Lullaby in the Ice Cavern, so that's not nothing.
Good mega flip from Exodus there.
really solid Baronade fight by Exodus.
Absolutely. And paperweight for Azder.
Zelda's Lullaby already paying off. So that's 5 medallions. He still needs to do water, but he's got everything he needs to do it. We had that hint that it was barren, so it's not the worst thing that he saved it for.
I mean, minus the light arrows, Azder really needs to just go back child and come back to Zora and do Jabu.
If he realizes he missed that check, he'll find the boomerang and he'll be right there to do Jabu.
Exactly.
But I can't imagine he realizes it, because why wouldn't you do that on your first trip? He must have just forgot it. And, you know, if you leave Zora's domain thinking you've done everything as a child there, I mean, at what point do you go back? So, I mean, if he has the epiphany that he forgot to do Torch Run, and, you know, even then, it's a one-off check in an isolated area, so there's no guarantee that he goes back and does that first thing when he realizes it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Serenade on the the Prelude check was pretty nice there. I'm sure he's happy not to have to make that trek. Yeah, he's got long shot, so he's just got to swim over there. Long shot, and then boss key skip. So unless this boss key skip goes poorly, he'll have his 6th medallion in no time. Not even gonna bother with the long shot. Yeah, it's all medallions. You're allowed to hover to the castle, do checks, but you're not allowed to kill the boss until you spawn the bridge, which requires the 6 medallions.
Just like that, Exodus clearing up Water Temple for his fire medallion.
So that'll be 6. So next stop is Ganon's castle. Now, the boss door is locked in these settings, so we'll need to go hunting for the boss key. It's possible that's in Light Trial, which normally would require gold gauntlets, but there's ways past that pillar thing in these rules. Yeah, he doesn't have ZL yet, so if either the boss key or the light arrows on a ZL check, then he's gonna have to go find it.
That could be a saving grace for Azder, but
Exo's gonna shoot the sun on the off chance that his light arrows are here.
Just a bloopy.
Yeah, no such luck. Yeah, it's possible to beat water without ZL. We don't know where the boss key was in this seed, so it's hard to say whether it was required or not, at least in logic.
As you're getting 2 troll chests with ice traps.
Looks like Exo's gonna go right for light trial before... Well, he's looking for the boss key. I don't think he can get to Ganondorf without it. Gonna give it another try. I have seen this pillar skip be a sticking point in some of these races. He struggles a little bit here. Looks like he's in. There he goes.
There he goes.
And there's the boss key right in front of him.
Wow.
So off to Ganondorf. He'll give us the area that the light arrows are in. So it's possible it's something that he can't get with the items he's got now. But most of the time you're going to get the location, know where they're at, pick them up, and come right back. So we'll see what Ganondorf has to say. Very well could be. Yeah, horseback makes this all dungeons if you're just tuning in, because Epona's is on Ocarina of Time. So that's gonna send us into Shadow and Stones. Yeah, so this, I forgot that one of the differences between this and the accessible race is fast up isn't on in these settings. So you can go to Lon Lon Ranch and then hover over the wall as an adult, and it'll give you Epona. And then you won't be able to summon her again, but you can ride her off to Gerudo Fortress. Oh yeah, rules, not settings. I don't want to get commanded in the Discord. Shadow Temple. So that's not too bad. We don't have Nocturne, but we can hookshot jump into the temple or into the dungeon, and then I think we've got everything we need to actually clear it. So, well, ZL is a sticking point because if it's past the boat, then that's going to be a problem. Meanwhile, Azder looks like he's finishing up Spirit Temple. He'll get a stone for that. We don't know which one because pedestal is child, but he'll get one of the stones for completing it.
Alright, well, Exodus just got Nocturne.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I'm not sure what could be on HBA at this point. Pretty much got blackout bingo on these trackers, or at least on exit. So I'm not sure that anything logically required can be on HBA. Yeah, it could have been gold gauntlets to get into the light trial. There are ways to skip the boat, I think. But so there's that clip I talked about earlier. Well, that gets you into Bongo. It doesn't get you into any of the checks past ZL. I'm not sure if you can just hover the gap or not. Okay, that makes sense. So yeah, it's possible if it's on one of the few checks past the boat that he'll need to go get ZL.
Azder did get silver gauntlets, correct? Did I forget? No, I didn't think so. I think he only still has his
Azder getting the one cycle on Twin Rova. One for him.
And Exodus got his light arrows.
That's all she wrote. So assuming this holds up, Exodus will win the second game of the game series, win 2-0 and be on to the finals. We'll have a match between those two runners on Thursday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern if you want to tune into that and see who's going to move on. And hopefully we'll have the runners in to chat about the seed when they're done.
And Spirit was Zora Sapphire. That's what you'd have to message them about it. Well done on that Ganondorf fight.
Pretty clean. A little easier with ISG, but still good. I think Azder might be going for chess game here.
If you like what you guys have seen watching the race and enjoying these guys, go ahead and definitely click on their links, give them a follower. They love to run this game, so.
Should cut the 2:30. That's a pretty good time. Looks like we'll get to see what was in that chess game after all this time.
Just a piece of heart.
And Ganon is down. It's going to be GG for Exodus. He'll win this best of 3, 2-0, and go on to the finals of the tournament. We'll see if he wants to join us for a chat after he's done. That's all she wrote. GG Exodus.
GG's Exodus.
So he's officially in the finals of this tournament. We don't know who he's going to be facing yet. We'll find that out. Dotso and Runner Guy are the other semifinalists, and they're going to have their second race on Thursday, 5:30 Eastern p.m. So be sure to tune in for that. Meanwhile, we're waiting to hear whether either of these runners wants to join us or not. Yes. Yep, there's our Song of Storms. Looks like he may be playing this out. He hasn't stopped yet. Did you ever figure out what was on archery, Dotso? So gold's in GTG. Yeah. Ended up being nothing.
Wow. Still no word on EXO coming in.
There you are. Hi, XO. GG.
Hey,
GG.
thanks.
So how'd you feel about that?
That seed could have been absurdly fast if I had just done domain earlier, because that seed was just ridiculous. The hammer was in river, the boomerang was in domain, and the bow was in Javu. So you literally just had to do that area pretty much, and that had everything except for like light arrows and hookshot, I guess. But yeah. That seed could have been like sub 130, I feel like. It could have been absurdly fast.
It's a very generous seed.
Yeah.
So the difference was, the boomerang on the torch run, Azder went to domain as child and didn't do that.
Oh, wow.
And that, you guys were neck and neck for a while, splitting up and then converging again, and he just missed the boomerang, and that was it.
Dang, did he do the diving game?
Yep,
Yeah, he did diving.
Oh, wow.
When you found the boomerang, I was honestly shocked because I had just mentally assumed that he did both. So I wasn't even watching your side of the stream when you were in there because I figured it was repeated checks, and somebody said boomerang in the chat, and I was like, how did he not get that?
Yeah.
And he still hasn't found it. He's just kind of wandering the earth looking for it right now.
Yeah, it was. I was surprised that he didn't get that check as well. Normally, you know, you see the diving game almost directly into the but GG's on finding that. That was a definitely good job. It was a fun race to watch.
Yeah, I was really running out of places that the bow could be because I couldn't do much of GGG without the bow, and I couldn't do much of forest without the bow. So I literally had either Ice Cavern or those two checks in domain. Those were like my only things left at that point that something had to be in.
And there's Azder. Welcome, GG's, my friend.
Has anybody told you where the boomerang was yet?
Nope.
Torch run in domain.
What? Didn't I do it? I didn't do it.
We
did
thought
I?
you did too,
No.
but you missed it.
Oh my god, are you...
We didn't
You
realize
did
you
the
missed
diving.
it until Exodus picked it up.
Oh
You did
my...
the diving game and then just didn't go back to light the torches.
Oh my god.
And then that was the boomerang, which led you into Jabu Jabu, where the bow was.
Yeah, okay, so that was it.
Yeah, light arrows were in shadow.
Ew. Well, that's... yeah. Okay, well... yeah, I don't know. I felt like that was going pretty well for me, actually. I think I don't know for sure, but I think I had a really good chance if I didn't make that mistake.
Yeah, you guys were neck and neck for most of the race, and then when we did, seemed pretty fatal. But I mean, we thought it was anybody's game up to that point. So you certainly raced well. It was just the one mistake kind of cost you.
Yeah, I wouldn't have like looked for very much else after that. Like I already had hammer. I was doing all of that stuff, I think, to set up Scarecrow for fire in case I needed it. So yeah, that would have been it. I would have been fine. That sucks. But at least like I can say that. Otherwise, I think I played this really well.
Yeah, I don't think anything to be ashamed of. It happens. You raced well otherwise. Do you have any other thoughts about the seed?
I don't know. It was a pretty nice seed, honestly. I didn't get very many good hints. I was kind of like scratching my head. I kind of skipped a lot of the stones. They just weren't in my way. But I only got 2 Way of the Heroes, and that's kind of why I ended up going so hard on Spirit.
And so with that, Exodus, you're on to the finals. And I think azder, we're doing a 3rd place matchup, aren't we? So we'll see more of you.
Yeah, so yeah, loser of Dotso and RG.
Yeah, so we'll see both of these runners in the future once we semifinal match. And keep your eyes on the schedule for those matches. You guys have any other thoughts you want to pass on before we go?
No.
All right, well, you both raced well. Unfortunately, it was just one kind of random check that decided the race, but that's Randomizer.
Yeah, this one wasn't a train wreck for me like last time was, so happy with that at least.
Yeah, nothing to be ashamed of. Appreciate you both joining us, and GG on the race. You both did well, and we'll be sure to follow you.
Thanks.
Definitely GG's, guys.
All right, with that, like I mentioned, on Thursday, we've got a race between Runner Guy and Dato. That's our other semifinal matchup at 5:30 p.m. Eastern, so be sure to tune in for that. Otherwise, we'll see you next time. Thank you for joining us, everyone.